was so surprised how many people didn't know that with the DEI rollbacks, that meant that like there would also be rollbacks for specifically women. I don't know what y'all thought. What, you thought, first of all, you thought these men respected us? What, just because like, oh, just because you're like a white woman? And I get, like, I'm a white woman, right? But like most political progress for women has come at the hands of women of color.
I understand that Black women have long fought for justice and equity, not just for themselves, but for all marginalized communities. And your commitment to truth, resilience, and progress is truly inspiring. I'm committed to being an ally and creating positive, lasting changes so that we can all live equally in this country. To all of the white women who let everyone else down, check back with me in 4 years. I'm sorry for your daughters. I'm sorry for your sisters.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. Welcome back to my YouTube space. Thank you so much for being here, and I love so much. Now, there's a number of things Black people have been warning white people. A lot of history and culture tied up in this, okay? Black folks have been raising red flags about all kinds of stuffs for decades, even centuries, that mainstreams white society either ignored, dismissed, or, they just mocked and moved away. But right now, the consequences are beginning to show up. What are these things that Black people have been warning white people? That's what we are going to react on it today. And I'm going to feature videos of some creators or videos of some individuals from social media. I want you to watch them, the regrets of white people and how they are understanding this or how things are being unfolding onto them. Now, let's watch these clips and then we'll come back again and talk about it.
Hey friends, some of you may have heard that Black folks are sitting this one out. Maybe that made you pause, think a little bit. Maybe you thought, wait, why? So let's talk about it. For generations, Black people have shown up. They've marched, they've organized, they've voted, protested, they've led, they've bled, they've died. All for rights that we've benefited from. Too often, white folks like me, you, we watch from the sidelines. We've said, that's a shame, but carry on. Some of us may have even posted a black square, but went back to business as usual. Meanwhile, Black communities are still being policed more, paid less, denied care, blamed for their own poverty, blamed for their systemic problems, handed longer sentences for the same exact crime. And when they dare to grieve, rage, many of us respond with, that's too much. Calm down. The problem is that we keep asking them to show up. So no, not this time. They're not showing up. Many. I don't blame them. I get it. They don't want their name to become another hashtag. This time, we're the ones that need to march in front, on the front lines, organize, protect, and demand change without centering ourselves to not only do the work, but we need to earn that trust back. We've got work to do. If you're uncomfortable, I get it. It's okay. Just don't let it stop you from showing up. Not this time.
So, in case nobody else has told you already, hair color is not exclusive to a race. So yes, Black people can definitely be born with different colored eyes, and they can have red hair or blonde hair. It is not exclusive to a race. In trying to compare hair color to white women wearing black hairstyles that are meant to protect Black people's hair, and for many other reasons, there's a history behind it. It's meant for Black people. So why would a white person wear a black hairstyle? Are you catching on? And the problem really is when white people can wear that said hairstyle and not get in trouble. But if a Black person wears a hairstyle that's supposed to be for their hair and is meant for their hair, it's threatened that they lose their job or get kicked out of school. And before anybody tries to say that's never happened, it has. Google it. That's where the problem is. Oh, white privilege. That too. That's literally what I just said is white privilege. White people can do said thing that Black people are pretty much forced to not do. And that is why, because society was built for white people. Plain and simple. So with that being said, I hope you learned from that, because that whole little live you did was insane. Disrespecting the fuck out of Black women. Wild.
To all Black women of America, I want to express my heartfelt apology for the role that many white Americans, including white women, played in electing Donald Trump. I recognize the pain and frustration that this has caused in Black communities and the ways this outcome has undermined the rights, the safety, and the dignity of so many, especially Black women. I understand that Black women have long fought for justice and equity, not just for themselves, but for all marginalized communities. And your commitment to truth, resilience, and progress is truly inspiring. As a white person, I'm aware that part of my responsibility is to listen, learn, and actively challenge systems that harm and marginalize. And it's clear that actions speak louder than words. I'm still committed to doing the work necessary to help build a future where all voices are heard and respected. Thank you for your continued strength and leadership. I'm committed to being an ally and creating positive, lasting changes so that we can all live equally in this country. To all of the white women who let everyone else down, check back with me in 4 years. I'm sorry for your daughters. I'm sorry for your sisters that you made a choice to vote a convicted criminal into the presidency. You complain about crime committed by people who came to this country to seek a new life, but you weren't worried about putting a criminal in office again. You must be aware that he's about to use his power to save himself and to save every insurrectionist who was sentenced as a result of the insurrection. You are truly about to see what misuse of power looks like.
Why the fuck is our healthcare tied to our employment?
Racism. You see, immediately after emancipation, white folks didn't want to give black folks health care. They were afraid of healthy black people while simultaneously viewing them as unworthy of receiving health care. And do you know what was a great way to keep black people from accessing that health care? Tying it to the jobs that they were being denied. This is just one of many, many consequences of slavery and racism that we don't talk about, but we absolutely should. If you want to learn more, the New York Times has an awesome series on this that you can read for free online. Just Google the 1619 Project. And remember, healthcare is a human right and racism sucks.
I'm so surprised how many people didn't know that with the DEI rollbacks, that meant that like there would also be rollbacks for specifically women. I don't know what y'all thought. What, you thought, first of all, you thought these men respected us? What, just because like, oh, just because you're like a white woman? And I get like I'm a white woman, right? But like most political progress for women has come at the hands of women of color. Not to say that there haven't been prominent white women, but like when they're talking about like diversity in the workforce, they're talking about you. And now they're talking about like getting rid of things like Black History Month and Women's History Month. And all the white women are suddenly like, what? This applies to us? I don't know if you know this, but they view you as someone they can oppress. It's like, I don't know why we're surprised. This also means that like it opens the door for them to allow for things like for you to be fired if you're pregnant, for them to take away more things like maternity leave and stuff like that. Y'all need to stop associating DEI with just black people or other people of color. DEI rollbacks, that meant that like there would also be rollbacks for specifically women. I don't know what you...
Non-melanated people are inherently racist, so they thought DEI applied to black people, therefore everything that would happen in association with DEI wouldn't affect them personally. So when women would launch harassment cases against their male co-workers, and that would lead to tangible consequence, DEI was a contributing factor. When they went to the bank to take out a loan to get the capital to start their business and that got approved, DEI was a contributing factor. It's not just about hiring practices, it's about the rights of those people when they're in professional spaces. The rolling back of various DEI programs is 100% going to impact marginalized communities, but it's going to hit white women the most because white men need white women to stay at home so that they can be mothers again.
DEI rollbacks, that meant that like there would also be rollbacks for specifically women.
I'm just piggybacking off of you here. As soon as I heard the whole cutbacks for DEI, I'm like, how the hell are they going to enforce that unless you're a Christian, white, straight male? And then everybody else loses their job? Like, how do you pick a DEI unless all you were assuming was black people and people of color? Like, I asked him that as soon as it did, like, that came across, and I was like, oh my god. It's ridiculous. It is. People are dumb.
If you're a white person, we need to start getting even louder on behalf of our friends and family who are minorities. Our government has antagonized them to no end. They're ripping up the street that proclaimed Black Lives Matter. They're removing accomplishments from our minority service members off of the Pentagon website. And now our federal government erased a ban on contractors who run segregated facilities. They are trying so hard to enrage our brothers and sisters of color. They want them angry and they want them out in the streets. It is so clear. I'm so proud of them for not taking the bait. I'm so proud of them for staying home and resting. But as they do, we have to fight on their behalf. The Civil Rights Act was only passed in 1964. I'm in my early 40s, but my parents grew up with segregation in their schools. And there's no way in hell, all these years later, we're going to go backwards to anything even remotely resembling that. If places are segregated and say whites only, that's not a place I will ever be. And any line of thinking that keeps us separate from one another is a thinking that we need to reject loudly and wholeheartedly. Nobody is better than anybody else in this country because of the color of their skin. We are not, in 2025, going to sit around and watch as a bunch of people make laws trying to make us go backwards. We have to be the loudest ones. We have to be the protectors. We have to be the allies. We have to be the advocates. We have to be the ones whose voices are the loudest in saying, we will not go backwards, and you will not oppress the minority community. Not on our watch, not now, and not ever.
As a critical criminology lecturer and researcher, I kind of wanted to share my thoughts about segregation in America and how I've interpreted that using a sort of criminological twist. And when I say I'm a sort of a critical criminologist, I'm more like kill the rich than fingerprints and, you know, you're a serial killer because your mum was mean to you. I'm not that type of serial killer. I'm that type of criminologist. So what I wanted to say about the segregation is this. It seems to me that actually America has always had the most virulent, violent form of segregation in place anyway, in terms of its criminal justice system. That is nothing short of a segregation system. When you look at the disproportionate amount of black people that experience incarceration and the extended carceral system in terms of probation and parole and whatever. Yeah. Even greater disproportion is shared among Indigenous First Nations people who disproportionately or even greater represented within the carceral system. What this actually tells me is that actually what we're seeing is an extension of the carceral net into the wider community. And I don't think white people have the privilege to be shocked that Trump would suggest segregation when the American criminal justice system has been incarcerating people of color at colossal community wrecking levels for decades, and not to mention the types of policing that look more like hunting than policing. Anyway, just wanted to share my thoughts about that. Yeah, follow me if you want to.
I recently overheard a student, a young white boy, saying he's going to do a report on Ruby Bridges because he can relate to her because she was the only black person in her school and he's the only white person in his class. I thought that was a great glimpse into the white perception of how black folks experience racism, and especially in the context of the school I work at, because I work at an alternative school. And so my student there didn't realize that what he was saying had a bigger context to it. The fact that our school's kind of overwhelmed with young black children is because our education system refers them to us because they treat young black children like they're criminals. So even when he was trying to relate, he was still missing the picture entirely. And I feel like the lesson that came from that for me as a parent was the importance of not being neutral and not mincing words and not sugarcoating it, but really being explicit in the things we talk about so that our kids don't walk around with these like well-intended thoughts and beliefs that actually can cause more harm.
I didn't know that he was going to take my husband's tractors away. Also, I did not know that it was going to mean that my little boy was not going to be able to go to Head Start no more. And then I did not know that we was going to be out all of the caches from the food stuff. I did not know we was going to be losing that money, okay? We need it. And then I heard that they was going to mess with Papaw's Social Security. And this is just a little bit more than we can stomach around here, if you know what I mean. So I don't know who we need to call to fix this. We need to call somebody and talk to the manager.
Welcome back. Now let's dig deeper into these examples received of how black people have been warning white people. White people have been rude on it. White people have been ignoring on it, and now they are finding out the hard way. White or black people have been complaining all along that the police don't protect them, they target them, and black people have been saying this since Emmett Till, since Rodney King, since forever. Black people have been complaining for decades about police brutality. Example is in 1991, beating of Rodney King. I know you know that story, you have come across it. Was one of the first viral example of police violence. In 2014, when Mike Brown was killed in Ferguson, Black Lives Matter was born. This protest was born. The movement was so big. But here came again George Floyd in 2020. That murder happened on camera and the world saw it. So it has been there. And now white people, they regret because people who once said all life matters or blue life matters started realizing how real and deep until black policing goes. For some, it was a wake-up call. For others, it was too late. Okay? Because when black people were saying black life matters, there's some people who were saying all life matters. There were some people who were saying blue life matters. They didn't care about the life of black. They didn't care about George Floyd. They didn't care about those who were killed by the police brutality. Because they were saying, oh, we are all the same. That is, you are just complaining too much, blah, blah, blah. And they didn't take keen on it. But right now, they just know, They know. Because they are realizing how deep it is. And I'm thankful to this generation because the generation of nowadays is not the generation of 1960s, 1970s, 80s, or 1990s, It is something new and it's bringing up an energy of unity, maybe, And I hope we'll get to that one day. Now, we have something that we call white supremacy, and this hurts white people too. And I always say, white supremacy may affect black people, but white people, they get it bad, but they cannot understand it. They cannot know that the white supremacy is affecting them negatively. They are thinking white supremacy is protecting them, but this thing is eating them mentally. It's eating them on all corners. Black people say that racism is a tool to divide the working class. And black people told the white people that they are being tricked into defending a system that doesn't even care about them. Right now, they know it is eating them up. Because racism was a tool just to divide the working class, the rich white people and the low white people, to separate them. And they will tell them black people are the problem. And they will use this white supremacy. They will use this whiteness to divide. But in real sense, these rich white people, they were using these working class white people and poor white people to protect them from the black people. I don't know if you have understand that. The rich white people used the middle class white people to protect them from the black people. So they came up with this idea of white supremacy. They came up with this idea of whiteness. As I said, and whiteness was not there. Whiteness started in 1691, and it was created to protect economically, politically and everything. Because back then, people were just calling themselves by nationality, like I'm Irish, I'm German, I'm Portuguese, but they were all European. But when they realized that there are some people who have more power than us, these people are black people, they decided to come up with this idea that we people who are white, we are the best. So they call themselves white people. So right now, someone from Portugal is white, France white, Now we cannot again identify people by their national, like French or from France. We now say white people and black people. Okay? So black people warned white people about the white supremacy. And I've given you an example. And more example is like poor and working class white communities often get caught up in the same system of exploitation, bad healthcare, low wages, militarized policy. That's what's happening right now in the United States of America. White people have been caught. The poor and working class white people have been caught in this thing that Donald Trump is trying to create. When Donald Trump is sending away He's sending away the immigrants, poor working class or poor white people, or working class white people, they are being caught up on this. Because some of these immigrants are working for these working class white people. Some of these immigrants, they are boss to poor white people. They are bosses. Some of these immigrants, they are the one who are inventing things for these working class white people. Now, the rich white people, they can afford everybody or anybody because they got the money. But what about the white? What about the working class white people? What about the poor white people? So they are being caught on this. When the economy of the United States is crashing, it's not crashing on black people alone. It's not crashing on Latinos alone. It's not crashing on Arabs alone. It's not crashing on African diasporas or Jamaicans or Caribbeans alone. It is crashing even on poor white people, working class white people. They are out here sharing videos, crying. We have seen MAGA farmers crying. We have seen people are losing their jobs. The working class white people are losing their jobs. Those who are working in DEI offices, those who are working in, these are the Red Cross, something that was giving help in Africa. They have been moved out of their job because the system doesn't care about you. The system doesn't care about a working class white American. The system doesn't care about the poor white. Just like the system doesn't care the people of color, you are all on this bucket. And that's why white supremacy, it's eating them up. The poor healthcare, it's eating them up. Donald Trump has just removed the Department of Education. People are saying it was all about black people or people of color, but even those poor white people are being caught on this. Okay? Another example, Martin Luther King Jr., the doctor, and Malcolm X both talked about how racism benefits the rich and powerful by keeping everyone else fighting each other. Now, this example is like this. The poor white people and the working class white people will keep on fighting black people or people of color, will keep on hating on these people of color, will keep on having this hatred in their heart to be racist towards other people or other races. But it is not benefiting them. It's only benefiting the white or rich white people. Yeah. If you are a white person and you are watching this video, you can testify that. And even black Americans, you can testify that white supremacy is not all about people of color. It's not all about black people. It's about the rich. Richer or rich people are getting richer. The poor are getting poorer. Even if you are white, which color, white supremacy is not for you. Black organizers pushed for universal health care, labor rights, and anti-capitalist movement long before they were progressive ideas. The regret comes here where some white folks are now realizing that they have been voting against their own interests for decades by buying into racial narratives. Now they are like, oh, wait. Black people were right. Because if you vote against your own will because you want to punish these people of color, for example, like Latinos voted against their own will because they are for white. Now the regret is for everyone. A lot of MAGA supporters or MAGA voters voted against their own will, against their own wish because of racial something, So it is eating them up. And that's the regret. And that's why they came the word FAFO. Now, another thing that white people have just realized and they are regretting is what Black said about being woke. means being aware of injustice, especially racial. Saying it's not a trend, it's survival. Example, the term woke came out of a black activist space like Erkan Badu, using it in 2008 or even earlier in the 30s and 40s. White liberals and brands started using woke to sell diversity or look progressive without doing the work. The right then weaponized it, turning woke into that word and using it to bash anything anti-racist or inclusivity. The regret is coming here, where even using the word feels complicated and some white people are like, damn, we really messed that up. That's some of the regrets that white people are now realizing it. We may talk about black creativity, the culture, like what black people said, everything you love about pop culture was made by black people, and you never gave credit, you just copied. Like hip hop was a black people invention, but white people dismiss it, saying it is noisy, it is for gangsters, it is ghetto. But until white people came out, or white artists came and started profiting from it. So black people are complaining all along because black people said everything you love about pop culture was made by us, and black people never get credit. Streetwear, true, TikTok dances, about creativity, black people are so much creative, but their creativity are being termed wrongly. Maybe some are being termed to be noisy, ghetto, thuggery, but at the end of the day, white people are benefiting from it. Right now, white influencers are regretting some of them because some of them are being cancelled for not giving credit, like people are going to the real thing, and the real thing is from the black culture or black community. Black women too have a number of warnings to white women, and white women ignored, but right now they are regretting. When we talk about that, we talk about black women have been out here saying they don't trust the system. They have been warning white people to stop putting faith in the system. They have been warning white women that voting is just a tool. Now, in 2016, 94% of black women voted against Donald Trump, while 53% of white women voted for Donald Trump. That is in 2016. Even after he openly opened a racist, or he had these racist behaviors. Now, white women are now regretting, or they now realize that many of the rights they took for granted are disappearing. Right now, white women are regretting because many of the rights they took for granted, they are disappearing. And warning have been there all along. So black people have been warning white people for very long time. We have a number of warnings that has been coming from black people's mouth towards white people, but because of the white supremacy and the system, white people have been thinking about the system is protecting them all, but no, system is not for all of the white people, but few of them are benefiting from it, and these are rich white people benefiting from the system. Now, tell me what you think on this comment section, because all I'll just say is that everything has an end, and regrets comes. If you don't listen today, you will regret tomorrow. If you listen today, you will not live to regret tomorrow, because you will prevent or protect yourself as earlier as possible. Now, let's meet tomorrow on the next episode. Till then, I love you so much and be blessed.